Jason Johnson is here, thank goodness. Jason, we've been spending time on the Republican witness as he was questioned by Congressman Collins and for a little bit of that time by the staff counsel from the Republican side. I'm struck by two things. One, we can't ignore the circus, the split screen circus that we're living in. I mean, what happened on the president's overseas trip, the president laughed off of a continent, as I think our friend George Conway tweeted this morning. This lawyer, Jonathan Turley, doing his best to argue a very narrow piece of why it might not be impeachable, but only after making abundantly clear that he and his golden doodle, not Trump fans. I mean, what is, you know, if you step back, the day really has been a day for the Democrats and the professors who were there as witnesses called by the Democrats.
Yeah, Nicole, I mean, first and foremost, for the president at the NATO meeting, do you know how little respect you must have across the world for Boris Johnson to laugh at you? I mean, like when you had the collection of world leaders all basically sitting like, oh my gosh, this guy is so ridiculous. That's indicative of how problematic this is for the president, regardless of what he might want to say across the world. If you are being impeached at home, it does affect your prestige and your ability to do your job abroad. And as far as here, look, in our last segment, I talked about, yay, this is the day for college professors like me. Well, I can also say this is the day where we're reminded of the problem sometimes with college professors, their ability to navel gaze at a laser level at things that most people don't care about. If I had a classroom of students right now, they would be asleep. What Turley did by attempting to explain... This is why I love you, Jason.
In the first hour, I'm like, maybe I should go back to law school. In the last 45, I was like, oh my God, I wouldn't last 3 weeks.
This is like the 2Ls are already asleep and saying, why didn't I go to business school, right, after hearing some of this stuff. And the issue is this. The argument that Turley is trying to make, it doesn't make sense for the public at large who's trying to understand this.
Explain that, because I was trying to get at that, but you just said it better than I did.
Yeah, so basically what he's saying, and you look at the comparison, for example, he was in favor of impeaching Bill Clinton. Why? Right. Because Bill Clinton was lying about something that actually happened in the Oval Office. Well, I guess his Trump wasn't successful in preventing the money, you can't necessarily hold him accountable. So I guess, you know, people dying is worse than something happening in the Oval Office. And at the end of the day, that is not something that resonates with regular people, because we all understand that you can get in trouble for the attempt to engage in bad behavior. And if there's one thing that regular people have actually understood about this entire process is impeachment is not a court of law. The idea of saying that this has to go to the court of law doesn't make any sense. Impeachment is an inherently political process because the president can do all sorts of things that regular people will go to jail for. So the whole process of impeachment is not about, did he break the law? The president breaks the law all the time. All sorts of presidents have broken the law. It's, has he broken the law and the norms of this position enough that he becomes a dangerous to the regular functioning of democracy? That is the argument that I think Turley has failed to make for Republicans, and therefore this has not been a good day for the Republicans at all. The Democrats can't screw this up at this point.
I want to come back to the topic of getting laughed on the world stage, but I believe we are now...
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.